Hello, I'm Liz. Welcome to my little urban homestead and welcome to Fabric Friday. I've been playing with one of my vintage sewing machines, and as I've told you in the past, I can't practice for practice sake or just play around. I have to have an end product in mind. So I'd got an old patchwork blanket I made a while ago, and I cut some of it up and used it for a project for Lurch. So I've got some of it left. So I cut it up and made these little bags out of it. I've made Mason. I've made 3 of them all together. This one doesn't have the weighted cushion on top because it's going underneath my serger, so any of the scraps that are cut off by the machine will fall in here instead of on the floor. I've made one that's sort of similar size to it but with a weighted cushion part, and that is going to go next to my cutting table, so all the bits can go in there, and a smaller one that is going to go with me wherever I'm sitting for whichever machine I'm using. When I'm using the Simplicity or this old Wilcox and Gibbs, because yes, I've moved the 2 sewing machines around again, or when I'm using this seamstress. It's got a little tray thing in the side of the door, so I can put it in there and it's not on the counter at all, so I can lay out what I'm doing. I'll show you now how I made this one. This is the larger one. It's not fantastic edged or anything like that. Like I said, I was just playing around and getting used to the machine and what it can do and everything, and making something from nothing. So I'll show you now. I've cut out here all the pieces I need, and as I said, these are all reclaimed material. This piece is going to be like the hinge that holds it. Let me show you this bit here, this middle bit, and I've done it 8 inches by 4.5 inches. I've got one piece that is going to be your weighted pin cushion, or in my case rice I filled it with, and that is 8.5 by 7. I've got 2 of these pieces and they are 10 by 8 inches. That's for the outside of the bag, and the inside of the bag is reclaimed from an old pair of pyjamas that I had that no longer fit me, and they are exactly the same, 8 by 10 inches. So now I'll go through the sewing bits with you. I hope you can make this out all right. It's on one of the vintage sewing machines I've got. Now this is the hinge part, and basically we're just folding it in half, put the nice sides together and just sew along one edge. Would help if I turn the machine on. haven't got a light, so I don't know if it's on or not. You can back at the back stitch at the start and end. So once you've sewn it into a tube, just turn it and you can decide, do you want the seam on the edge or the seam on the middle? And I think I might have it like that, which is offset because it's patchwork anyway. You can't tell which one's a seam and which one isn't. So that's the hinge bit done. Now for the weight bit, which you can use as a pin cushion as well. First of all, the shorter side, just turn it over and stitch along it. This will actually help you when it comes to sewing up after you've filled it with whatever you want to, forgive it, weight. Now all you do is make sure you've got the nice sides together, and you basically want to sew, oh, forgetting about the hinge. Basically look where the middle is, roundabout. That's about the middle. There is about the middle. So put that in basically where you want it to go. Take your pin out. Turn it over, make sure your ends are together where you're going to start. Make sure you've got all your fabrics together. Pin it in place if you want to. If you don't pin it. And so from this side that you've just turned over, so along and down, and that will enclose your hingey bit. Trim your corners and then turn it the right side out, which is what I'm going to do now. If I can find my scissors, and we turn it, and because we put the hingey bit in, it's there. Now poke out your corners, and then that bit will be done. The outside of the bag. Find out which bit you want the top and which bit you want the bottom, and do as we did on the part where your weights go in, either rice or them pellets. Or walnut shells. They're supposed to be good for your pins. I don't know if they are. I'm not doing a fantastic pristine job on it because they're basically for me to use around my sewing area, so I don't bother. They're not a present or anything like that, and it's all reclaimed material. So put your your nice sides together and stitch all the way around, from leaving the top edge that you've just sewn down by about 1/4 inch. And to make your box corners, just put your hands inside, put your seam on the top and then pull to the side, and it will naturally want to fall that way. So there's points on it. Now you can go absolutely nuts and do these precise. I'm just trying to line my seams up so I get a sort of straight seam, and I'm going to find a mark on the sewing machine and go with it. This is what I want to show you, is that you don't have to spend ages and be so fastidious. Especially on this, which is reclaimed fabric. Some of it's even second reclaimed. Same on this side. Find your corner bit. And then find that mark you chose on your sewing machine, and that's giving you your box corners. And see how easy that was to do? Now you can cut these off, oh, I'm not bothering. I can't be bothered. I am playing with new to me machine, but that's the outside of the bag, and do exactly the same with the liner. Now we have the outside, which is the right way out, and I've left the lining, so I did the box corners the same, but it's inside out. So now basically we just put the two in together. First of all, line your seams up, the lining and your outer. Pin there. I wouldn't normally do it like this because I normally put pins in my mouth, which you shouldn't really do, but same again. Lining and outer at your seams, pin them together. Decide which bit of the bag you want as the front and which you want as the back. Oh, I think I'll have this as the back. Get your hinge bit, that's the only raw edge that's left, and basically choose roughly where you want it to go. So let's have it as going there. Just put a pin in there to actually hold it down. Bring the lining up to it, a little bit on the fiddly side. You could always base stitch this hinge bit in first, and then you don't have this fiddle, but it takes a bit longer, and I'm all up for speed. carry on going round, making sure your hinge is inside and your lining is there. And sorry about my hands. It's awkward to do it from not on here. That's better. Take your pin out, let you put it there with, so you won't accidentally sew over it. And then top stitch it all the way around. Find part that is convenient for starting. Make sure your pins are out of the way. You do not want to go over them. Sorry about my hand again being in the way. Back stitch and then top stitch it down. You can be all exact about it and follow where you did that, where you sewed over 1/4 of an inch when they were all flat, or you can just go for it. Same as I said, I won't win any awards for this, but it doesn't matter. I'm not going for that. If you've got a machine with a free arm, possibly do it round there. It may be easier, but this isn't a free arm one. You don't tend to get that on vintage machines. And while we're here at the machine, this is left open. Now, to make it easy for yourself when you're filling, basically sew it together, but leave 1/2 inch or so for your funnel to go in. That's about 1/2 inch for my funnel go in there. Fill it with whatever you want to give it some weight. This one here I filled with rice, which is what I'm going to do with this one. And then it's all done. I filled it with rice, and here's a little tip. You can sew by hand that little bit where your funnel went in, or you can make sure all the rice, or wherever you've used to stuff it, is to one side, and then get pins and hold that back with the pins. That's it. I've held it back with all the pins. Now, you can put your zipper put on, but this is a very thin put anyway, so I aren't bothering to change it. Like I said, it's just for me here in my sewing area, so as long as it holds it, I don't mind how it looks. And that's it now. It's ready, and it matches all the others. Done.
easy, quick. Thank you. Bye.